I just wanted to check in with everyone and see how everyone's doing. It just it just feels like if we just get it together too much, it gets in the way of everyone doing their thing or something. I don't know.
It's nice to touch base like this. You know,
Hmm.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
and it's a nice portal. I mean, you got Jesus rising up today, so might as well use that portal for some good.
But on so it's our April the 1st, Jen. Do you want to talk about your rebirth day?
Ooh. Does everybody know this is the day I escaped from being locked up, starved, and tortured by the sociopath who tried to kill me, and I went through enlightenment in the process?
I laugh. It shouldn't be funny, but I've heard this story a couple of times, and it's interesting. The first two or three times I heard the story, it was just, it was overwhelming. Um, but after a while, I kind of see that there is this kind of higher perspective. So it's easy to get drawn into the drama of everything that happened to you in that year, Jen.
Hmm.
But I mean, having heard the story a couple of times, actually more than a couple of times, it's kind of like I kind of get from a different vantage point. So
Yeah.
yes.
So I met this guy at this retreat for this cult, and he was really bothered by aliens. He used to like buy into all the aliens and stuff, and watch everything on aliens. And then he meets me, and I did a healing on him. By the way, he was pretty good looking. Except for being energetically distorted, he was pretty good looking. He looked like a young Clint Eastwood at first. And I did some energy work on him, and he felt it, and it was amazing for him. And it gave him relief from the aliens that were all around him. So he started to buy me things. He bought me a cell phone, and we were connected 24/7. And he used to be a computer programmer, and he used to work in this office, and he thought all the office was different aliens and stuff. And I would make my noises, and I would clear them. And I was doing some surreal stuff at that time because I was tapped into his psyche. And it's like I have no judgment and stuff. I'm just tapping into his psyche. And he, while I was tapped into him, I got more and more into what he was doing, and I got imbalanced in it as well. I actually had the conscious experience of me and him being shanghaied from this planet to another planet and being harvested for parts for a cyborg body. So our brain, our hearts, our organs were part of this artificial body. And it was like real surreal because I actually experienced it. And and he had this experience of watching a human being get scrambled into mush in this life-sized microwave. And we had those experiences about the same time. So we were like bonded in this delusion and stuff. But what's really, and it got really weirder and stuff. We moved to this property together in a different state, and neither one of us knew anyone. And just all these weird, surreal things started happening. And the first thing that happened is I started clearing these discs that were in the earth. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was clearing it, and it was covered with these reptiles or whatever. And I think I was actually doing energy work, and I was experiencing all these crystals. And then I started to talk to the earth, and the earth wanted me to work outside all the time. And I had no association with, I was I was like no computer, no newspapers, no neighbors, nothing. I was just about being with the nature and stuff, and it got worse and worse and worse. I got to just he started to treat me crueler and crueler. He thought I was stealing his energy. So then he got paranoid of me and he started being really mean to me. And then he got worse and worse. And then he was like, he thought I was the personification of all the evil in the world. And he got worse and worse to me. And it got to the point where he thought when I got there, the squirrels were jumping around the trees and so happy to see me. And that pissed him off that the squirrels liked me. So at one point, he made me set cages and trap the squirrels and kill them. So I did that. And so, but all the time I was talking to the adepts beyond that. And so, as bad as that was, I understand how humans can be talked into going to war and killing other humans, how easily it is to manipulate the human psyche into doing bad things. And apparently I needed that experience to do the work I do. And so he didn't like the fact that I needed to eat. And so he started to starve me and give me only one little bowl of rice a day. And it got so bad that I would steal out of his garbage bags. And he caught me one day and he said, if you steal from me again, I'll punch you in the stomach till you throw it up. And so I started stealing my dog's food. And my dog would sit there and just do a heavy sigh as I ate his dog food. And it tasted so good. It tasted like biscuits. So it was a fox that would come around the property, and he thought that fox was evil. It was just a cute little fox. So his goal was to kill the fox. And once we killed the fox, that means the spell was over and I could be free. The earth could be free. So it took a long time to trap that fox, and then I had to kill it and burn its body. And then we did that, and then I rested, and I was in the house for the first time. I was just resting, and then he came down, and he could feel my energy, and he goes, "We're not done yet. That was the wrong fox." And so he thought we had to get another fox, and it was like, I started to be out of there, and I started not to obey him like I did. And I started having dreams every night of leaving and of the place beyond that. And I had the dream of a dog in the future, which is Seema, now Maisie. And this dog would come visit me. And in the dream state, this dog would come and give me hope and keep me alive. And what I didn't realize was it was me now in the future going back to me then and encouraging me and keeping me alive. I kept myself alive. So that's how I know that humans can go back into their past when they're troubled, when they're children and they're suffering, go to themselves and keep themselves uplifted and encouraged. And that actually works because I've created that loop for myself over and over again. I got a nudge April 1st to put my ID in my pants and leave, and I basically did. And there's a whole story about it, but I've posted it on Facebook and we'll post it on my website. But comes to find out, it's like I almost starved to death. I mean, I had bed spins because I couldn't go out anymore. Comes to find out, I was told years ago I'm a Sangoma. And it's like I've checked in with Sangomas over and over, and they said, yes, you're a Sangoma. Sangoma is a traditional African shaman that channels their ancestors and heals with sounds, which is actually, at the time, I wasn't doing any of that. But what I didn't know at the time is the prerequisites to becoming a full-blown Sangoma was to take life and to survive the brink of death. Well, I had nearly starved to death, and I was limited capacity. I brought myself back. It took a while, and I had taken the life of some animals while I was there. But those were the prerequisites of being the Sangoma, which is really interesting. So there was a lot that happened there that I needed, along with going through the process of self-realization or enlightenment, that I needed to do the work I do now. And when I was on the property, I was told, as I was walking around, I was told and shown that I would be renowned. And it was so silly because I had no healing. I had no writing skills then. But they said, no, you're going to be famous. And I thought it was just, maybe myself keeping myself alive. But since then, I have done a lot of good for people. So there's some good that came out of that experience. But anyways, this is my new birthday, and this is the one that's really exciting to me because the old birthday kind of sucked.